Speaking to the mic. Or just flow. Yeah, take the guitar kwanza. I've been banned.
You want to take your phone also?
I've been banned from using the guitar. Amazing stuff, I tell you. So, Daktari, a quick one. Karibuni to yet but this is a new episode. This is one of many.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, so today we are live on TikTok and we are rolling for YouTube. And so, guys on TikTok, tap. I don't know what they do on TikTok live.
I think they they give gifts.
They give gifts.
They give
so
gifts.
give gifts.
Yeah.
Comment. Unfortunately, the phone is all that far away. I can't see your comments, but talk among yourselves.
Yes, and guys, welcome. It's actually something so new to just be a co-host of such an amazing show, where we can truly be ourselves and not sound politically correct. So yeah, send those gifts. Bring your questions if you have any, and let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Yes, let's do it. So Dr. Leeze Renske and I are going to be hosting a weekly, weekly podcast.
Yeah.
And we'll have guests. Yeah, when some maybe she'll do some guests, I'll do some will do together, and it's gonna be amazing. Like the healthcare fraternity is big, and
Yeah.
can't do it alone.
Yeah, and we also hope to bring different types of guests.
Yeah. True story.
To be a bit more personal and intimate with you guys, so
Yeah.
you could know the human side of medicine.
Yeah, apparently I'm told I'm very serious. Am I very serious when I host guys here? We discuss only serious stuff, like hakuna mochezo.
It's true.
It is.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I feel like we are a bit more serious. Yeah, I think we should loosen up a bit.
Chill out.
Yeah, just go with the
give a bit of a chilled vibe.
right.
Yeah.
If it's not that, I don't want it. Mood all 2024.
Kabisa. And ubaya ujui Kiswahili mazi. So one thing I'm going to be doing here is teaching you some Swahili.
We're gonna be doing this.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'll be giving you word of the day. You know, I'm a lawyer. And as we know Swahili properly. Yeah, alimradhi. You know what alimradhi is?
No.
You don't know alimradhi?
No.
Alimradhi.
I know I'm Levi.
What is alimradhi?
I'm Levi.
Mlevi.
Yes.
You hang out with lots of those?
No, it's because, oh, wow. Why do I feel judged? I mean,
how come that's the only word you know?
I know other things. I can survive in the streets, I think.
You can?
Yeah, I think I can survive.
But you don't know alimradhi?
No.
Ndiposa?
Hey. Nera.
Ijapokuwa?
Signal lost.
Anyway, so Daktari, a quick one. Mostly matters medicine. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sindio?
Yeah.
And health and all that.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a couple of segments, but you have to do your thing. And I think this is the most important of the segments that tutakuwa nazo. And that's mental health. Liz is big on mental health. An advocate of mental health. You know, some of us, born, raised African. Tunakuanga zile za mental health kitu gani? Depression ugonjwa wa wazungu. But yeah. Sorry to say, it's true. That's what some people, including myself, for some time, I've had that. Like, why are you sad? Come on, shake it off. But it hits you at some point, and you're like, this can happen to anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we're really hoping to debunk the myths around mental health. And it's still November, so this is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, so if you know any man in your life, doctor or not, appreciate them all the way till the 30th of November.
Oh.
That's why you have the No Shave November. Have you ever heard of
I know of No Shave, but I have nothing to not shave. Maybe my armpits. Oh, wait, am I allowed to say that? Oh, okay. My auxiliary fossa.
Better.
Yeah, so anyway, today we're actually on a sad note.
Yeah.
We just lost yet another doctor.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. It's too much. I mean, it's too much. Yeah, I know. there's depression out there, and people are depressed. Yeah, there are people who are depressed, but
Right.
I'm feeling, but because by the time you get to taking your own life, that's already, it's a symptom.
Yeah.
It's a symptom of severity, and that is extreme, extreme. Because you don't wake up and decide I'm done with
Today's the
this.
day.
You do
Yeah.
not. You do not.
Yeah.
So I think it's very saddening and it's very humbling. And being that the people who are doing this are in our field, yeah, I heard there was also even a nurse who committed suicide. It's not just about doctors and interns and even nurses. There's a nurse who committed suicide somewhere in his day. Yeah, yeah, and that's not long ago. That's just the other day.
I think something needs to change.
A lot needs to change.
Yeah, like we could just start with having to, I mean, they started psychology. Remember, like before we became interns, they were just doing 4 rotations. And then when we became interns, now they added community health and psychology.
Psychiatry.
Psychiatry. Oh, thank you. Gosh. Psychiatry.
Uh-huh.
I guess probably that was their intention to somewhat sensitize.
I don't think so.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so because the psychiatry we taught in school and the psychiatry, just because maybe you know about breast cancer doesn't mean you can't get breast cancer.
True.
So the psychiatry we are taught in school and even as internship is for seeing patients. I'm able to diagnose depression and I'm able to give medications for it, but doesn't mean I can't get it. In fact, going into that rotation makes it worse.
But isn't that the case for all other diseases? I mean, just because you know it doesn't mean you can't get GE, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but I
So
kind of
mental
feel,
illness the same. I don't think adding the rotation makes it any better for us. Or what was that your point?
yeah.
I don't think it
I,
does.
I think it does. Like I had a as much as we went to the same hospital, I had
For
a
internship.
complete for internship. We're sorry.
It could be for delivery. People are like, hey, daktari ulikuwa unazaa nini?
But yeah, like I had a different internship experience.
Yeah.
I got to see patients with symptoms. I was like, oh shit. I think that's familiar to me.
Or you could relate.
I could relate. And I think it's just different like when you're sitting on the other side of the table with a white lab coat. But you can really empathize because there's a lot in common. And I just think that these symptoms build over time. And just seeing how the psychiatrist in that hospital handled things, I really had a different opinion of mental health actually. He built onto my passion for mental health apart from, yeah.
And what about back in med school?
Yeah, no.
You didn't have a psychiatry?
We did have a psychiatry rotation. I just think that we didn't spend enough time with the patients. Again, we were taught how to identify and diagnose. Yeah, but we weren't quite taught like how to be with these patients from like day 1 until week 10 or whatever, of just constant follow-up. I don't think we gave it enough time. Yeah.
For us, we had a very elaborate psychiatry rotation.
Yeah.
It was well stipulated on paper. But the thing with psychiatry and where I did it,
Right.
Maseno shout out, yeah?
Hey.
Where I did, undergrad. Yes, it was taken like others.
Like I med.
No. Like you like Eddie IMED. You're serious in IMED because you can fail IMED and repeat.
Yeah.
You're serious with surgery.
Yeah.
But you're psychiatry.
Was
It was like an easy one. It's like this is easy.
Like who studies for psychiatry?
Who studies for psychiatry? Yeah. I mean, and then also our lectures were pretty easy on it. Yeah, they were. They were like we were like, prof is not going to fail you in psychiatry. He's not going to fail you. Like, just go there and say anything. I mean, as long as you've done the bare minimum. For example, 4th year you're clerking. As long as you've given good biodata, you've taken like a history, you've showed the effort, you'll pass. So, there's that. There's that aspect of psychiatry,
Right.
even for doctors, that it's not such a big deal. So from the onset, you're like, psychiatry is easy. Okay, you have that mentality that it is easy. And then I mean, the examiners are also chilled about it, because psychiatrists are really cool people. The ones I've met, at least.
The ones you've met.
Yeah.
Our psychiatrists looked like they were badasses. They looked like they could squash you and roll you like chapati.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't mind failing you. All psychiatrists I've met have been so passionate about psychiatry that if you're not able to understand the science behind it, they don't mind failing you and making you repeat.
Wow.
Yeah, like even our DMS in uni, yeah, he was a psychiatrist.
Wow.
Yeah, he
Okay.
used to come in
But
a few
I remember
pieces.
I met, on my internship, I met a doctor
Right.
who was late to start her internship because she had failed psychiatry in her university. And I was like, what?
Psychiatry?
Psychiatry?
But I believe it seems complex now. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It is. It is. Mental health is deep. I mean, mental health, psychiatry is a lot. And we overlook it a lot, and I think, I don't know if it's an African thing.
Yeah, I think there's stigma around it as well.
There is.
People just believe that people with mental struggles are, they call them mad people, but that's not what it
Yes.
is.
In
Yeah.
fact, I think, it's schizophrenia, right?
Yeah.
I think schizophrenia is like one of the least common. Like, if you were to rank, starting with personality
Disorder.
disorders,
Okay, okay,
you
okay.
come to depression,
Yeah.
you come to all those,
Bipolar mood disorder.
bipolars and all that.
Yeah.
I think those are even more than, because the thing with schizophrenia is that it's dramatic. Yeah, because somebody has extremely bizarre behavior, but these other people can fit in society. Yeah, like somebody who is depressed, you really can't tell from the way they look.
So let's actually talk about that. Like, what do you think are common struggles we face in the medical industry that probably take us to that point where we're like, you know what, it's not worth it anymore? What do you think are common problems that we don't want to talk about publicly, but they exist?
They're there, and I think we don't want to talk about them, but we should. And I think we must talk about them. You see, now we should have that the guitar for now. Now you just can't. Yeah, we must talk about these things.
Right.
I think, first of all, you studied in Russia. Russia. I don't know how it is there, and I think probably it's easier. But in Kenya, first of all, med school is just, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it's a lot.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot. So you're not really living campus life the way you would like to, or the way other people are. Okay, so already you're being isolated as time goes, and then it's 10 years,
Yes.
6 years. It's a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, those extra 2 years that people have spent after graduating and you're still in school makes a big difference. So I think it starts away from med school.
Med school.
And there's a Ugandan guy on TikTok. Nowadays, I really watch. I need to introduce my TikTok. There's a
These
Uganda.
are my confessions.
There's I don't know if he's a doctor or a medical student, but he makes some videos portraying how exams are handled in medical school.
Oh.
How the lecturers calm down on you when you don't know, and it's sarcastic comments. It's bullying, and they literally insult you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think not everyone can handle that very well, so it begins down there.
Right.
I don't know, how was your medical school?
So med school was also traumatic, but I do think that the system was more favorable in such a way that we started like anatomy from second year, like all the way. Like it was divided into normal and then pathology. So normal physiology, pathophysiology, normal anatomy, pathoanatomy. By the time you're reaching the pathological aspect of it, you already have the basis of what's going on. I just think that it got a bit tedious in third year. I think that's the year where med school showed me a lot of flames, because in third year we had to do like um, five exams. Five exams, and that was now our first interaction with patients in Russian. So it was just a flop. But knowing what I know now and seeing my brother's past papers, I still think school in Kenya is hell.
It is.
Yeah, I don't understand how you just offload all this information into this person's head, like as a lecturer, and then expect them to know it on time. Like, look, even you don't know things you have to Google as a lecturer. How do you expect me as a student to know this stuff? Like, I went to school. It don't make no sense to me.
Yeah. For us, I think in Kenya, med school is it's what it is. It is what it
It
thinks it
is
is.
what it is.
Yeah, med school is. Oh my God, when will I finish? Because every year there's a new challenge.
Right?
Yeah, every year there's a new challenge. Well, it gets easier. I think it gets easier as you move along, but not in the sense that things are getting easier or things are less. In the sense that you're used to it.
You have coped.
Yeah, you've coped.
That's what it is. I agree,
Yeah.
because I think to add on what you said, like yes, med school is where it begins, but then now there's the life after med school,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
unemployment,
Yeah.
building a family, the responsibilities, and then getting exhausted by being an MO for such a long time, trying to find financial freedom, and then creating time. Like, it's just so much adulting has to offer, but with more pressure. I think that's what makes it worse, and lack of support.
Yeah. We've talked about financial freedom, and I think that we are in a capitalist country and a capitalist world, so to speak.
Yeah.
Most of the world is capitalistic.
Yeah.
And so this financial freedom, or
Right.
just the kukuwa na do, Kenya tunaita kuomoka, kutoka block.
Allah.
Those things are really big
Right.
on young people.
Yeah.
Really, really big. Like, it's called making it. Oh my God, it is big. Now, what the bad thing with med school as it is right now, yeah, is that once when you're joining, when you're joining med school, back in the day, when we were joining, this is back 2012, 2013 there, when we were joining medical school, it was like, wow, we're gonna be rich, you're gonna make so much money, doctors are rich, doctors got money, doctors got...
If I were a doctor, I wouldn't be having such problems.
Yeah, and then throughout, I think for us, because we had a really close class, a close med school, because it was small, and we could see interns, we could see young MOs, and we could just... One thing that was always on our mind, I think from third year,
Yeah.
was pesa ya internship. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, because that money, you planned for it for like 2 years before it starts
But
coming.
what about the 3 months? What about when you reach internship and then you're waiting like 3 months?
Oh, you're
without
like, oh
pay?
my gosh.
Hitch that boom.
Where is it?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Yeah.
If I get the boom, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I kind of get it. But
So,
yeah.
for particularly like the likes of Dr. Felix, Dr. Mora, who had all that, looking forward to this. Yeah. You go through the lecturer, for example, you're doing an exam, and a lecturer just tells you, hey, why didn't your mother use contraception? Yeah. Okay, maybe a bit extreme, but something in that line. Yeah. Or they should have, they shouldn't, they told a cow to take a cow to school.
Hey.
Things like that, things below the belt. And you're like, you just take it and you're like,
Yeah.
I'll rip some money after it. Then you get the internship. First of all, you're not posted for years. After all of that, umekapitia. Exams are not a joke. Last anatomy is like this.
But I still feel like it's easier though.
Biochemistry is like this. Physiology, Gaiton. There's a book called Gaiton. Gaiton is this big. You take in all that, yeah? Sleepless nights and all that. And then at the end of it, there's no reward. I think that's what kills. the spirits.
And so all we can do right now is just be our friends keepers in this community.
Oh yeah.
If again you know anyone that has not been themselves or has not been communicating, I think just a simple text to let them know you're thinking about them or just checking in would be great.
Be amazing.
Yeah, and if you need someone to talk to and there's no one, I'm here. I'm here. Mindful medicine is here for medics by medics to make it work. Yeah. So, speaking of trauma during internship, what was the most disrespected, or what was the most disrespectful thing anyone told you when you were an intern?
Most
That still
disrespectful
holds, yeah.
thing that someone told me.
Yeah.
Did someone tell me? Uh-huh. Disrespectful. Well, I felt bad at some points. I felt bad severally. Uh, thing with me is I don't hold grudges that much. Well, I don't forget.
So,
I
so.
remember, but I don't. So I was mistreated by lab people. You know, when you're just in a hurry to get a sample because you need to do a CS very fast to save a life, and you go to the lab and they don't want to process your sample. They're like, hey, this sample has clotted, and then they just talk to you very badly about it, something like that. Or the nurses, they're belittling you and things like that because they think you're young. But I think the thing that quazared me, that's a new Swahili word.
Quasi.
Kwaza, kitu ambacho kilikwaza. That is deep Swahili. Yeah, the thing that really quazared me quazared, was like from a consultant. Yeah, so consultant is someone you look up to.
Right.
Yeah, somebody you hold, somebody you expect to be really,
Yeah.
mature and treat you like a junior and mentor you. So I had a consultant who we didn't like me from the word go, and I knew he didn't like me, but
Do I know this
of
consultant?
course you do. But one name
Oh, I
names.
remember.
Yeah, I knew you didn't like me, but not to brag,
Yeah.
but I was a good intern, pretty good. Like I knew my things. Yeah, I could make good decisions.
Uh
So
huh.
I think he expected less.
Right.
He had a low expectation of me because maybe my personality at the time. I'm a changed person now.
Right.
So I think he had a low expectation. So when I beat that expectation, he was just looking for something to bring me down a notch. And we didn't go really well. I won't go into the details of what really happened, but
You don't want to give us the tea?
you give us the tea. What is the worst that somebody talked to you?
It was also a consultant.
Really?
Actually, I've had various phases of disrespect in my career. As a student,
As a student, you were
I was
disrespected.
disrespected as an intern and as an MO.
Mm.
Yes, and what's so crazy is all three phases, it wasn't patients that were disrespecting me. It was consultants.
Colleagues.
It was no consultants. I'm putting it
Oh,
out.
wait,
We are not holding anything. It was consultants.
your seniors.
Yes, it was my seniors. I just think though, like if probably seniors could remember what it was like to be a
To be
little to
at
be
our
down the
level.
yes at our level, then maybe they'll be a bit more mindful of the words that they utter. I feel like the only difference is the hospital I was working in just changed the degree of disrespect. In a government hospital, they'll disrespect you, they don't care. In a private hospital, they'll disrespect you, but in a nicer tone. So it doesn't really make a difference, I think. Yeah, but I think the one thing I remember was someone telling me that they don't know how I ended up being a doctor because there's nothing that I know. And I want to share this because I think there are many doctors out there
Yeah.
that have heard such words from maybe colleagues or even patients. Let nobody tell you nothing. You know your truth. You study those hours and they don't know your destiny. They don't. And so I just feel like that, as much as I don't hold grudges, that always is at the back of my mind to just say, watch me. Watch me. Only because I've been at the lowest point where such words make me feel like I have no value really in this community. And then I've also been on the other end where I'm like, but this person doesn't know me. So what makes them think they could make me think otherwise about myself? You know? And so if you find yourself in that position, just
When what you say is very true, and those words are not uncommon.
right?
Those words are not uncommon, and there's worse. Like people get shade is thrown without filters, and I think we are getting it's getting friendlier as time goes. Because the older
Yes.
consultants were really like that.
The younger ones are better.
They were, yeah.
Yeah.
The newer generation is more mindful about mental health and how they speak. But I think it needs serious regulation, and it needs to have repercussions when somebody does that to you. Because I was when I was looking about talking about mental health, and I was looking at how it's handled in maybe more advanced countries.
Right.
And that statement alone you said, in other countries, the NHS to be precise, is punishable. Like this doctor could get punished just for talking like that. And ideally, the protocol is, if somebody talks to you like that, or if you hear maybe a consultant or a senior talking to a junior in that manner, disrespecting them, you should, number one, confront them.
Yeah.
If they do not, or if they persist, then you can report them.
Insert pin location.
And,
Pin emoji.
and when you do report them, they do get repercussions.
They
like,
do.
That's how other countries do it. Okay, in Kenya we're not there. In Kenya, I think, who are you going to report to?
I've seen well, some people report to HR. Depending on the HR and depending on the senior doctor that's bullying you. There are those who actually take action, and then there are those who just sideline it because this consultant has a reputation.
Exactly, and you just mentioned HR, and I'm picturing a place I work, and I'm picturing the HR, very small, cute girl, and I'm picturing one of the senior consultants I know, yeah,
Yeah.
like a professor, like one of the biggest in the country, and I'm just picturing that HR trying to address this concern, and
It won't make
I mean,
sense.
they can't even. They'll have their heart in their hands, just talking to him, So
Get it though.
yeah, because this and they're very eloquent and well spoken and
Also
direct and
intimidating. Just
intimidating.
by their perfumes, you're like, fuckers here.
Yeah, so and they're not just intimidating to the HR; they're also intimidating to junior doctors, because not once, not twice, but severally, I've had doctors who go like, I'm not calling Doctor so and so.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not
Even
calling.
if you need to consult, you'd
I
rather
am
go to
not.
the registrar
Yeah.
and say, eh.
I am not. Maybe I am not. But I find that I think there is also a part of us to blame. We as maybe I don't know if we can't blame ourselves, or we can't blame the victims, but we need a stronger mentality.
Seriously, no.
Yeah. What do you think?
Seriously, no.
Yeah, I mean,
That's no different from you saying, yeah, no, African men don't get depressed because they're supposed to have a strong mentality.
well, depression is different. But when
Right.
somebody comes and crosses your lane and you feel disrespected, yeah, I don't think you should take it.
You don't feel like crossing boundaries is somewhat
It
a
is.
catalyst
It
to,
is. Well, it's gonna happen.
right.
Whether you like it or not, somebody's gonna cross your boundaries. Somebody's going to talk badly to you. How you handle it is the difference. The difference between whether they'll do it again or whether they'll be like, no.
Right.
Because the story I was telling you, when I told you, I think I told you, because me, I handled the consultant. Because I stood up, because I'm right. I mean, okay, even if I'm not right, I believe I'm right, you know. And just if you're correcting me, no problem. I love to be corrected. When I'm wrong, by all means, correct me. But
When
don't
you're right.
insult me.
Uh,
You're my man. You're my senior. Just
yeah.
tell me correct, like you've done wrong.
Yeah.
But especially when I've done nothing wrong, and then you even start insinuating other things like the one you said, I don't know how you became a doctor and all that. And yet I know I impressed all my lecturers back in medical school.
Wow,
And they gave me the
Festus.
pass. I mean, they didn't they? Otherwise, you wouldn't be here if you didn't pass, right?
Right.
Yeah, so he has no right to tell you that. I mean, and you should tell him, like, with all due respect, I know you're my senior and all, but come on, let's deal with the issue at hand.
Right.
Maybe I have given a wrong prescription here.
No, no, no.
Okay, just for example.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean, yeah, it doesn't mean I'm horrible at everything.
Right. But I think there are things I would want to change
Like what?
about existing systems around how better we're supposed to handle mental health. Um, Number one, I do think that we need a community. Like, if there's a problem that you have, and let's say I am a coordinator in, let's say, Obskyne, right? And you work in Obskyne, and you have a problem with another colleague. I think you should be able to come to me freely and not be intimidated enough to go to HR. So I feel like
Yeah, yeah.
HR needs to also create some sort of wellness team. A team that would have obviously HR, your direct supervisors, and others that can really hold you down and accountable in your workplace to really just get rid or debunk toxic work culture. Like, that needs to go. And I also think that probably we don't do enough mental health assessments.
Assessments.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, we don't.
What do you mean by assessments?
I feel like you guys have appraisals, right? Where you're supposed to somewhat be assessing somebody's medical knowledge. I still feel the same way employers put effort into doing that. They should also put effort into knowing how the mental health of these, and that's what we're doing with mindful medicine. Because I feel like if you're gonna tell me you're doing an assessment, I'm gonna prepare for it, and so I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear.
Exactly.
But if you're gonna pop up and say, "Hey, Renske not welcomed," ish, disoriented in time.
Or like a urine drug test.
No, we're not doing that.
Like, hey, you,
We are not doing
mental assessment day.
Yeah, but I mean that's also what we're doing. Like to really address this both on an individual and institutional level. And I think that's what should be changed as well. And then lastly, I really think societal norms is the problem. It's almost normal for a doctor to not be a patient. I mean, yes, they have like conditions that they go through,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
people somewhat just assume that
Nasiwe ni daktari.
an addict
Yeah.
or Daktari, that obviously is the biggest problem that we have. So also if society really changes its mindset, not that we can all, but if we do make an attempt to, I think it will make a huge difference in how also medics.
Yeah. I think you raise a very valid point, because society holds medics in very high regard, especially in our local setups. Once you're daktari,
It's over.
First of all, you're supposed to be very rich.
You're not supposed to borrow money.
Wewe daktari na huna pesa. Namna gani?
How don't you have a car,
Exactly.
a house?
Exactly.
Like, if I were a doctor, I would have.
Yeah.
You know, I'll keep bringing that
Yeah,
up.
because I was talking to Dr. Oburu just in
Right.
the last episode. Go check it out, by the way. Yeah, Dr. Oburu, and he was like, he was very blunt, and I asked him, would you advise someone right now
To do medicine.
to do into medicine? Okay, he didn't say no.
Oh, he didn't say no. I would say no.
No, he said if you like it, if you have a passion for it, go for it. Do what you like. Yeah.
Right.
But if you're going into medicine for the money, If you think you're going to make money in medicine, forget about it. The days of making money in medicine are long gone.
Literally. I also feel like just doing your masters, if you're gonna do, not to discourage you guys if you wanna do, if you're gonna do IMED, OBS guide, it's all peds,
Yeah.
overly saturated.
Yeah. Even surgery.
I think surgeons are the coolest though. I feel like they've left enough space for everyone else to like
Really?
join. Yeah.
Hmm.
I've never met a horrible surgeon my whole.
What do you mean by horrible?
Okay. So we will not lie. We will not lie. Truth of the matter is, out of all 4 common rotations, the surgeons don't bother you, whether you're an intern or an MO. They just need work done. If you're in peds, pediatricians worldwide are a bit, I think it's just passion maybe.
Yeah.
But because of passion, they can't quite tell if they are being arrogant or if they're actually being a leader. Because there's a difference between a leader and a manager, and most of them want to manage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the yeah.
Yeah.
Physicians also have an ego thing.
They
We
do.
don't even want to lie about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But yeah, okay. Not, of course, it's not all.
Yeah,
Because I
but
know some very cool physicians out there. I do.
I'm yet to meet a few.
But I was a Dr. Davis Kimweri. Check out the podcast. Have you watched it? You haven't.
Not
And you're a
yet.
co-host.
Not yet.
What a co-host.
Don't judge
But
me.
go check it out. Dr. Kimweri Davis is a physician. He's pretty cool. He's pretty humble. Well, he's a bit serious when it comes to, patient care and all that. Yeah. And he can be a bit on your neck, but he's pretty cool. And I know some others who are really chilled. I don't know if I can give examples.
No.
The others will feel
No, we
that
don't
they are
want
not
people
chilled.
to have yeah, no. But let's talk about it though. Like, do you feel like there's an end goal with medicine, like financially? Just be honest.
Like as a doctor,
Yes.
I don't think. Well, you want bro. You won't go hungry. You'll make well food on the table, and by the time you're maybe 60, you will have made some significant investments, and you'll be considered okay. Yeah.
Who wants to start living at 60 though, doc?
Yeah. Okay. This is what I'll say. This is what I'll say. They say only, is it, how much was it, 10%? I mean, this I don't remember the exact numbers, but they say very few people earn about above 100 Gs in Kenya. Very few. I think it was 10% about, and doctors are among those. Yeah, but also, yeah, also there are people who actually leave. And the other day, I saw a patient. Okay, I'm usually very observant, and I like to relate things. Because I saw a patient, and she was his early 30s, literally 30 something year old, early 30s, and the guy was driving a Range Rover, and I was even tempted to ask, "What do you do?" Because I don't know any doctor under 40 who drives a Range.
I know of a few.
A few, exactly. And that money or that range is not from medicine.
That's the punchline.
Exactly.
It's not from medicine. So going back to my point,
Yeah.
if you want to be a doctor, that's great. If you want to save lives, perfect. If you want money, sis, my brother, just focus on, like, I think running a hospital could get you money, but working in a hospital won't. And I won't lie, I've not come across many wealthy doctors.
Yeah.
I've only like met 2.
The wealthy doctors are not practicing.
And that's why the only 2 I've met.
The wealthy doctors are not practicing. I don't think, especially the way the practice is set up right now. Because I was talking to one of my, I have an intern who is a prof. Yeah.
So what do you call them? Doc or prof, or by their name?
Dr. Prof. He's an intern.
At least you.
He went back to med school. Yeah, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, "What's wrong with you? Why did you go back?" And he was like, "No, no, no. I'm not. It's not because I want to make more money. It's not because I want to see patients. I just want the knowledge." And yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, will you practice after intern? I was like, I was like, hell no. Me, I'm a prof. Come on. My children are
Eesh.
doctors.
Sprinkle,
My
sprinkle.
children are doctors. Do you expect me again at my age to be running around doing locums, doing night shifts from hospital A to B, just because I'm looking for money? No, I'm not gonna do that. So, well, if doctors do make money, they make it a really hard way, especially in Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I would just say that's why many people are actually considering non-clinical practice.
Mm,
Not to take away from their practicing rights,
yeah.
but just to really pick on new niches because it's oversaturated out here.
I don't know where the oversaturation is. I would never say medicine is oversaturated because the reason doctors do locums back to back is because there are not enough doctors. The reason doctors work double hospitals or triple is because there aren't enough doctors. Okay?
There are doctors who are just not getting the locums. Forget about the ones who are. What about those that are just chilling at home?
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But there are people who will be more aggressive than others. There are people who are satisfied with doing just one job. There are people who are like, I'm free. Why am I free? Let me go look for work. And that's one of the problems with doctors, by the way.
Let's talk about it. What other problems are there with doctors?
We don't know how to just be. I don't know if it's about how medical school is. There's no free time. Because uh, I'll give you my example. I don't know. In your med school, how often did you go for holiday?
Twice a year.
Twice a year.
Yeah.
How long?
1 month during the winter holiday, maybe 3 weeks, and then now summer holiday will be like 2 months or so.
You had how many semesters?
We had 2 semesters a
You
year.
had 2 semesters a year. Now, in most medical schools in Kenya, you have triple semester,
Why though?
3 semesters. So for me, I can tell you I don't think I had in my entire med school. The only time I had a significant holiday was during strikes. During strikes is when you actually get to have free time.
An indefinite holiday
An
though.
indefinite one,
Yeah.
which you're not even sure. So strikes gave you, like the doctors gave us 3 months, nurses gave us 5 months. Those were long. When school is closed because of rioting students, you get like 3 weeks. But otherwise, we were on triple semester. Guys go home on long holiday, and you're the only ones in school. So you're in school throughout. So I think that builds you into this workaholic robot who doesn't know what to do with their free time.
Antisocial. That's the problem with doctors.
Yep. Not anti. They even don't know how to socialize.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you find, and we were talking about it with Dr. Obo, you find that you make your entire life about medicine. Like, look at me, even look at me now. I'm doing a podcast
Oh.
about medicine. When I live here, I go for a discussion group about medicine. After that, tomorrow I'm going to work. Medicine.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to like. That's great.
And then,
That's great.
and then you're married to another doctor or a nurse. In the house, when you go back home, you're just talking about medicine.
But I hear that the only people that could understand doctors in the dating scene are those that are also medics. Like, how do you explain to your spouse that you're out at 3 in the morning on a Friday and it's raining and you're going to do a CS?
Yeah.
And you've been out since like 8 p.m. and then you get back home and it's 4 in the morning. I mean, fine, they'll believe you day one, week one, month one, year one, but you start to lose your family.
You do.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's been known. It's out there. Even when we were joining mess, it used to be said, madaktari wanagongewa.
Wow.
Kugongewa imekuja juzi as a term, but that was the thinking. Like, doctors, you have no time for your family.
Yeah, no. We are changing that.
How are you changing? How are you changing? Me, here I am, not changing it. How are you changing it?
Well, the truth is
Personally.
this. Personally, I have had time to focus on things that I love. I was constantly like in hospital, constantly working. If I wasn't working, I was searching for locums. But then it reached a point where I'm like, oh snap, it's been like 3 years. I've not done anything that I wanted to do. So how I'm changing it is number one, I'm actually considering a non-clinical with the clinical, of course, but a non-clinical on the side.
Mm.
Yeah, I think the essence of that is because like my path, I don't want to be just a consultant in a hospital. I think I want to like get into the NGO space. So I can somewhat balance the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm doing though is I am talking to other doctors. Did you know that there's a path that doctors take with startups?
Startups. Tell me about it.
Well, I'm not doing it like that, but I might as well just tell you. I met an Egyptian doctor on Friday.
Um,
He
when you say Egyptian, I just think of Mo Salah. You know Mo Salah?
no.
You know Mo Salah?
No.
What?
What? Who is that?
The current pharaoh of Egypt.
Are we doing this now?
Okay, you tell me the story.
So he's from a family of doctors. His sister is a pharmacist, brother is a lab tech, parents are
Um,
doctors. And so he decided, you know what? I'll just do my internship. And then from my internship, I'm going to get into starting my own business. So on Friday, there was a pitch. It was pitch day, so demo day, where he had to sell his product to all these investors from different parts of the world. Yeah, and they got their first $100,000 like that. Now
wow.
ask yourself, and not shillings, hey. Ask yourself, as a doctor, how long am I gonna take to just? I mean, as an MO, forget specialist. How long am I gonna take to make my first $100,000?
100,000 Kenya shillings. How much is that? 10 million?
Almost
Roughly.
12, almost there.
Yeah.
Will you do it like
It's gonna take forever.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was like,
You can take a loan.
and that's the other problem that we have. Doctors take loans
Yeah.
and then can't leave their jobs because they have to pay the loan, and then they end up settling. I think this era of doctors will be different, though. I think,
The
yeah,
other thing, and I think the other thing we need as doctors, you mentioned wellness. I think we need community. We need community, and I like what you're doing with mindful medicine. But we could do more.
yes,
We could do more, and specifically, I would just like to mention this guy is Daktari FC and now Daktari Wellness. We did a podcast with Dr. Kibet, who's representing them with a
I
medical
saw a
student.
lady as well.
Yeah,
See, I watched that.
it was nice, and they are doing amazing stuff because they are bringing all these levels of medics and doctors together,
one,
including
yeah.
pharmacists, including dentists. They're all coming together to play sports.
Which is great for mental
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, nothing beats that.
right?
I don't think there's anything that beats Daktari FC or Daktari Wellness when it comes to just mental health, like wellness as it is now, because they have a very good structure and they're expanding. They said they want to start doing golf. I asked if they can do rugby for guys who are, very muscular like myself.
Hey,
I am very muscular.
no, you are.
Yeah. So and they said they can consider, and I think it's amazing. I mean, People who can't run around can play golf.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People who don't like soccer can play even pool or
Even table
tennis.
tennis. Yeah.
And you're playing. You're an intern. You're playing against a consultant. You're playing against other cadres, and it's amazing.
But I do have a question about that though.
Okay, let's take a short break,
Okay.
and then we'll come back to your question.
Okay.
Yes. So karibuni tena. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys.
So yeah, Daktari, a quick one. Today we're big on mental health.
Yes.
Yeah, because coincidentally, one of us, junior colleague, has decided to call it quits with life. It's just very hard.
Yeah.
Hard thing to do.
Yeah.
But he did it anyway.
Yeah.
So may he rest well. And may all the other medics who have succumbed to system pressures, system incompetencies, may they all find peace in their next lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been 2 interns in a span of very few months. And you cannot convince me that the issues are different. I mean, as we said in the beginning, capitalist state, money cures all. Like, even if a consultant is being bad to you, but you get paid, you're like, okay, acha nipigie mwili pole. You know what that means? What? Yeah, it means you say sorry to your body and your head, so you can go watch a play. Like the other day, I was watching Tomboya, a play. It was done by some guys there, and it relaxes you.
I saw your status.
Yeah, it relaxes you. It makes you realize that okay, there's still more to life than just these words. But if you can't do that because you're financially arrested and handicapped, then it becomes bad. So that's why we're telling the MOH, just pay these guys. Pay them what they're owed. The work they do, the way Leeze you're describing your internship, is a lot.
Yo. Yeah.
These guys need to be paid. Yeah. And it's quite unfair that they're not.
Yeah.
And I hope they do. Those who have not been posted, I hope they get posted. So
I would also just like to share that therapy is something worth considering,
yeah.
no matter what title you have or what gender you are. And if finding a therapist might be also financially straining,
Which it is.
there are some facilities that do it for free. For example, like Red Cross Kenya offers therapeutic services for free. And at least you are able to talk about whatever it is that's bothering you.
Yeah.
Because what would you say about those that actually have money, but the cause of demise is much more deeper than
Yeah.
the financial aspect of it? And then lastly, I also think if you feel that your work environment is not allowing you to grow, as hard as it may sound and as crazy as this may sound, you are not weak for wanting to leave to find better and greener pastures. You should know your worth well enough to see whether or not you are being respected.
Yeah.
You should know your worth well enough to know whether you fit in, and there is space for everyone.
There is.
That hospital you're currently working in is fantastic, but there's space for you somewhere in WHO. There's space for you somewhere you want to be. And so I just think it's important that if people find themselves in such a toxic workspace and they're trying to handle it on their own and it's now taking a toll on them, as they are finding a plan B, they should actually find it quicker. Like they should, it doesn't make you look any weak.
It doesn't. And I've been doing a segment on TikTok, Daktari, a quick one, and I'm calling it Today in Medicine. And this thing of toxic work environment is just not going away because it's still coming and coming, because you post and somebody comments and you're like, oh yeah, that's true. There are hospitals that don't pay their staff, especially private. And even some county hospitals, you go months, you're not being paid. there are hospitals that just outrightly abuse you. No leaves. Yeah. You do extra shifts. It's quite funny. It's quite funny, these employers. And I really want to call you guys out by the employers. Mimi sitacheka na nyinyi. It's good that, yeah, you've given us a place to work, but I think we should be your most valuable assets.
Yes.
Like, imagine you have a valuable asset that you're mistreating.
I was going to give an example, but
Like, give your example. Because it's so wrong.
yeah.
It's so wrong because we are human beings, bana. There's even me. I don't like coming to work late. I don't feel nice when I come to work late. But consider that you're paying me very small money that I have to take a matatu. Consider that the government of Kenya has built a superhighway, an expressway that people have to pay to use. So there'll always be traffic. Consider all that. Consider maybe something happens to me that was unexpected. Even if I left yesterday, yeah, I'm still late. They will punish you for coming to work late.
Right.
And this is financial punishment.
And emotional punishment.
And emotional punishment.
Yeah.
Because you've come late.
Yeah.
Even if you give a reason, you still get the punishment.
Right.
But if you overstay work, nobody
No
cares.
one.
Nobody
They don't
even
pay
notices.
you extra.
Not even by a shilling.
Insert pin emoji.
It's so unfair.
It is.
And this is especially in the privates.
It is.
There are people, there are bodies that I would like to take up responsibility on this for me.
Like, I mean, this could be an opportunity.
Number one, the union. Miss Keller. Miss Keller is the DSG, Deputy Secretary, and DAVG is a Secretary. Miss Keller is very passionate when he talks about this.
Miss Keller is Kahura.
No, I hosted Miss Keller on the other episode. It was very passionate. Yeah, we even did
why are you gonna do me like this?
So go watch that episode.
Right.
And these issues we discussed about, even private doctors and medics in private hospital. This even goes to the nursing unions and the clinical officer unions. Those are still your members. They need representation, and they need to be treated fairly. So,
but I heard otherwise though. I heard that it's not that they are not able to do it, but also the lack of private practice medics not wanting to join the union is also making it hard for them.
The reason they're not joining the union is just because they don't see if there's anything for them in it.
So then what
because
do government...
Because when unions call for strikes, they call for strikes in public hospitals. So when I'm working in private, I'm like, in fact, you guys just add me work, because when you go on strike, I work more.
But if you're multiple private doctors that are under the union and they call a strike, you are protected by the union.
Yeah, that's what should happen.
Yes, and now the union can't protect you if you're not willing to join this community.
No, but the reason people are not joining is because the unions have not reached out. And you work in private, right?
Yes.
Have union members come to you? And you refused?
I could explain why. I didn't refuse, but I kind of felt like at that moment, I was still dealing with litigation-related things. That's why.
I don't understand, but...
It was just not the season. That's it.
And now you see when you have problems. Because I've had... there are a few people who are in the union in private. And shout out to Dr. Chua, and he told me the union actually does a good work.
Yeah, I do think they do
representing even private doctors.
Yeah, I think they do well. I just think it's us.
So I just think even these other issues of mistreatment and all that, the union should be able. Okay? The other body is the regulatory body. The one that just collects license. Do you have CPD points, by the way?
I need some here. I'm currently at 10. I need 50.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, they've made that their primary role. CPD points and licenses. When quacks are running the city all over, when people are not being paid here, when schools are not... More universities being closed. The council doesn't care. the School of Medicine. The council is just there waiting for you to finish. They can't even send you for internship properly. Yet they've already collected your internship license money.
Do you think that maybe it's not because they don't want to help, but the kind of responsibility they're taking on is not, they're taking on too much?
My point is, they're taking on too little. The only thing they're doing is issuing of licenses. What else are they doing?
No, actually, it gets deeper than that.
Yeah, it should get deeper than that. That's my point. I mean, how many unregulated facilities are out there? How many doctors practice even without those licenses for years? There are so many. But then if you even if you don't renew your license, if your employer isn't keen on checking if you renew,
You'll just
you will work.
practice until December next year.
You will work. Oh yes, I saw a guy on some WhatsApp group who hadn't renewed his license since 2009, and he was working, and everything was okay.
What? But aren't you supposed to be fined as an employer if you have an employee that
I mean,
isn't?
as an employer, I have many things to think about. Like, I need to order drugs. I need to do this.
The wellness of your patients
If my
also.
doctor is doing an okay job, what is that license? Just a piece of paper.
It costs 10K.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
costs 10K.
Why does it even
50
cost? Why
CPD
does it even
points.
cost all that much?
Right.
And yet they're not even doing a good job in following up. Me, I've paid my 10K. But there's someone who hasn't, and we're doing the same job, they are still earning.
Yeah.
That's the work the council should
The
be doing.
regulations.
They should be doing that. They should be making sure that interns, the people that, because in Kenya, when you're training, they issue the training number so that they track you throughout your career. They don't care if these people have now been out for how long, a year. They're going to be a danger to the patients. People who are not mentally okay, if you're depressed and you're working, by that to the public, I'll tell the public this. It might seem.
No, go on, hey, like, I'm here for you.
Okay, I'm winding up. I can rant.
You rant well.
It might seem that this issue of doctors being depressed and even some committing suicide, it might seem like an alien issue.
Or
to them.
attention-seeking issue.
Yeah, ituhusu.
Yeah.
Madaktari si wanalipwa, mbona huyu
Yeah.
But imagine you're a patient to a doctor who's depressed. Their judgment is off. Because somebody who's thinking of committing suicide, you think that person is thinking straight? Do you think they're going to make a right diagnosis and treat you well?
I want to comment, but I want to not comment.
Comment. Go. Mimi, I've left it there.
I do think that we also have leaders outside the medical sector that are not mentally sane or stable to manage this country.
Yeah.
But either way, they still show up. Right.
Yeah, but they do a bad job.
I don't know. I'm not getting involved in that, but I get you though. I do. There are some that could do better, but there are others who, if they don't do the job, no one else would. I mean, other things apart from finances also include exhaustion. I will tell you for free, like, we are in a constant state of exhaustion. Like, I'm still exhausted from yesterday's exhaustion for tomorrow's exhaustion.
Exhaustion upon exhaustion.
Exhaustion upon dick. You know what I mean? And I think probably, yes, you are right. But I don't think a patient is caring about whether this doctor is in the right state of mind to treat me. They're thinking, I need to be treated.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So whatever the doctor decides, even if it's wrong, showing up doesn't equate to doing a good job. And I'll give you a personal example with exhaustion. And until it was pointed out, I didn't know. There was a time I was doing those locums back to back, and I found myself regularly making tiny bits of mistakes. I was like, what's wrong with me? And somebody asked me, were you, like, before you came for this shift, were you somewhere else at night? Well, I wasn't. But I was like, when was the last time I took a break? So a tired doctor is not a safe doctor.
Ish. Mm.
A tired doctor is not a safe doctor.
Physically,
A
mentally,
sad doctor is not a safe doctor. An unpaid doctor is not a safe
an
doctor.
unpaid doctor is not a safe doctor either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not safe. So it's not safe for you. So the union, I think, is going to call for a strike after the demise of Dr. Felix. I think they're going to call for a strike. Public, you guys need to participate.
Yes, I think
And
it's very
yeah,
important.
and also this is Dr. Oburu. I'll go back to Dr. Oburu. He said that you cannot separate private hospitals from public hospitals. It's a symbiotic relationship. Because where do you get trained? Where do you do your internship? So private hospitals shouldn't sideline themselves and say that this is not their issue, because those sad interns that are working without pay, those sad interns that have not been posted, are going to be trained, going to be half baked, because they're not in the right state of mind during that process, and they'll come and you'll employ them.
I have a question.
Ask away.
Completely non-related but related.
Mm.
Do you think that every intern knows exactly what's going on right after internship? Just be honest, be candid.
Elaborate.
Um, like,
Expound, unpack.
hey. So, like, in this case where you have an intern that's half baked, with or without the mental distress attached to it, do you feel like academically, medics or even non-medics are up to par right after internship? What do you guys think? What do you
Up to
think?
par in terms of clinical?
Yeah, in terms of
No,
their
of course
career.
not. Of course, experience plays a big role. Yeah, the more you work, the more experience you get.
So if they're half baked, it's not a bad thing.
That was your point.
That's my point. It's
I,
not a bad thing, is it? They just need to.
well, you can you can be half baked, but you maybe had, like when you're baking a cake, ilikuwa karibu kuiva. It was almost there, so it's like 3/4 baked. So when you maybe put it in another oven, or you just leave it out, it can still be cake.
It can still be cake.
But if it hadn't even started forming, no matter how long you expose it,
I could
like
you did the
I think the
recipe.
foundations are important.
Yeah.
Yeah, the foundations are important. It's, of course, the more you work, the more experience you get, the better you get at it. But internship is important.
I want to just say that in Russia, internship isn't mandatory.
What?
After you finish your 6-year course, you can specialize. Actually, there are no GPs in Russia. Like, all of them are specialists because the system requires you to serve the military and then
Oh,
yeah. So what you'd find is that a
no wonder they're
person.
always fighting. There are so many soldiers.
Namaste.
I was like, what are you guys doing? Nothing. You have military training. Okay, you finish that, Ukraine.
No, but it's a good thing because you'd find like doctors also being developers. Like my consultant was a nephrologist, cardiologist, and then a back end developer.
Developer. Who's a
Yes, like
developer?
IT, like
Oh,
tech.
okay, okay.
Yeah. But like I think like what happens is they've really just made life so much easier to say you finish your undergrad, you go straight to specialize. And you're not gonna do peds, gynae, IMED. No, you can say I'm gonna do pediatric pulmonology.
Wow, right
Yes.
from undergrad.
Right from like after undergrad. And then like they would include your internship as part of your postgrad. So now you're focusing
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that particular thing you want to
I think
become.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's
But it is for that system. Our system isn't there yet because we still need the general doctors. The consultants aren't enough.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like what if you just allow doctors to state their interest from the get-go.
Yeah.
That way you can mold them to become the best version of whatever it is that they're doing.
I'll give an example of Dr. Buro. He did
Hey,
that.
Dr. Buru.
It's my latest, so it's still fresh.
Right.
Yeah, he did that. Like he went from internship
Straight
to general surgery, then to orthopedics. No, he didn't practice as an MO.
Which is wise, I think.
Yeah, and I think he's achieved a lot at his age, and he's quite good at what he does.
Does he regret it?
No, of course not.
Of course not, as in, he doesn't regret it, or of course not, as in, because he's successful, he doesn't regret it.
Go watch the episode.
Fine, guys. Let's all watch this episode.
Yeah. Because I think we should get there someday.
I think it's important.
Yeah, but I think as it is, that's the system we have. That after medical school, internship is mandatory. So the government should facilitate it.
Yeah, but explain to me why internship could be 1 year, 2 years in some countries, and then only for this person to not even practice medicine altogether. You've wasted their time. They have wasted their own time.
So you think we should do away with it?
I think it should be there, but in the direction of what someone wants to specialize in, so that experience could really polish them up.
But I think internship should. I think it should still be general. Do you know why?
Why?
You've been on a plane,
right.
For example, and a patient gets sick. Is anybody a doctor here?
You keep bringing that example up. Yes, there is a doctor, but the doctor is just a dermatologist.
Exactly.
You know.
Who did some internship and knows something about a pulmonary embolism, and they can insert a chest tube.
They did undergrad.
But you did not insert a chest tube in school. You did it in internship. So, yeah, as an intern, you know how to do that. You know you can do an electoral synthesis and save a life. If you skip all that, you'll just be, he has a skin rash here. the pilot, he's dying. Yeah, but this skin rash, this could be a melanoma.
Right. Exactly. So then what's the use of consultants?
No, but consultants are there to be consulted by junior doctors.
So you enjoy the division between
I think it's important. I don't enjoy the division. I mean, there shouldn't be a division. We should all just stick to our lanes. But I think I don't agree with the whole. I think what should be done away with is the MO.
That's my punchline.
Yeah, yes. Not the internship. The MO.
Okay, I see where you're coming from.
Because now, what is an MO? Because you'll find like you're an MO you're working with a dermatologist, and all you want to do is peds. But the first job you ever got was under a dermatologist. So you work for this dermatologist for 3 years, then go back to school and do peds. That is experience wasted. So I get your point. We can have, if you're looking for an MO, make sure that this MO is interested in the field you're putting them. Even in big hospitals. And I like what an employer of mine, somewhere where I locum, has started to do. They started putting MOs in departments.
What do you mean?
They started putting MOs in departments. And I think that's good.
Oh, they never used to do that?
No. They were just jack of all trades. They're putting MOs in departments. They're using registrars and those specialists to man those departments. And I think that's the way to go. Public hospitals do that, though.
They do.
However, there's a rotation.
After years.
Or months. I don't know.
Where we did internship. Hey.
Yeah.
It was years.
it was weird. It was weird. It was chaos. But then there was only 5. There was only 5 MOs.
Actually, it became 4.
Yeah. And of the 5, there's always one who's on leave.
Literally. Then they remained 3. Then they're overworked. You see what I mean?
They're overworked. They're rotated. You're in a department you do not like. And you have to work. So, and then they start blaming you when things go wrong.
forget the blaming. They give the energy to you as though you're the one who took them to that department. You're so grumpy.
Yeah, because they don't like it. You need to like what you're doing.
I think
You need
that's
to
very
like what you're doing.
important.
So I think if there's something that needs to change is this emoship.
Yeah. I think
But I think internship is important.
okay, I agree with
I
you.
win! I
Yeah,
win
yeah,
the
yeah. No,
argument!
no, no. Just take your flowers while they last. But no, I get it completely. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think internship makes sense, and then now like let people go straight into post grad. I hear that that's how the system used to be, but it changed somewhere.
Somewhere in
Like
the middle.
yeah, I just think it's getting harder now.
Yeah.
It's getting harder to survive. But guys, be your friends keepers.
Yeah, that's I think that's the take home. Be friends amongst each other. You know, there are some people, by the way, shout out to my class group. We used to be very close. Nowadays we are not.
I was about to ask you, like, huh?
Yeah, we used to be very close even after med school. Well, we still close at personal levels, but I think that should be the way. That closeness, even as a group, we should always move together. And I remember there's somewhere I started working, and the med soup was welcoming us, and it was like, "You guys stick together. Always know where the other person is. Always know what they're up to." And I think as a group, so that you take care of each other.
But you know, like adulting happens, right?
Adulting happens, but you know, I was thinking, by the way, you've seen companies, these other people, these people who work for I don't know what these people do, but these people go for team building, and they're busting balloons against each other and running around. Do you know any hospital that does that?
Yes, actually.
Uh,
Wait, mindful medicine does that, guys.
it does.
Yeah, it does. It actually does team buildings. Um, my former employer,
Mm,
yeah, they used to have team buildings.
mm,
Actually, it became like some sort of culture in particular departments where they'd even have it like twice a year. In the beginning and the end, just to unwind, to talk about things that bother them, to socialize, and they even support like financially. So people go to Naivasha, people go to Mombasa, people stay in Nairobi.
yeah, I saw it even used to happen in our high school. Teachers used to go on retreats every and every year.
But they come back pregnant.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't doing PDTs on teachers. Mwalimu kabla uingie naomba ukojoe kwa hii kikombe.
No, because I could imagine they were sleeping over there, right?
Yeah, they were staying there for like a whole month.
I mean, but people can sleep over and not get pregnant. Don't get me
But
wrong.
they're adults.
That's the punchline. I could imagine
There's
teachers like they were probably in their 20s when you're looking at them like, oh, this person is old.
Yeah, or early 30s. 20s, actually 20s. Those guys were young.
Yeah, 20s. Now, 30s is a bit different. Others are already getting married, others don't want to play. So they know their boundaries. They've gone through enough character development to say, yeah, no, he's a simp. He's a, oh, I am not the person for this. I am socially awkward.
By the way, I was to do an episode. Dr. Octo. Okay, I didn't call him out. I was to do an episode about dating. I like it amongst medics.
I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, it's in the planning.
We should actually have a guest.
I already invited someone who didn't show up.
Well, we can invite them and someone else too. Yeah, Dr. Octo is a man. I'm just asking.
Sasa he'll be on my neck.
You need a woman too.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think we would get
he was
enough
to come with a chick. He was to come with a chick doctor, and that was the purpose, just to discuss mambo ya mapage, because we might be saying that people are depressed because of financial issues, when love also plays a big role in making sure that you're satisfied, you have somebody who unajua kuitwa baby na feeling poa sana.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, like you could be very sad. And then she says, okay, Kababa, have you eaten? Good morning, Kababa. Don't worry, you'll get paid, Kababa.
What about passenger princess?
But what's that?
Oh, a passenger princess is like being on the passenger side and getting all the good things that come with being on the passenger side. Road trips,
That only applies to women.
money.
That only applies to women. No man will ever get that.
I think there are women who spoil their men.
Tell me about it.
I don't know. I just assume that they're there.
Did you spoil your man?
I actually get
Or
spoiled.
your man?
Hey, yay. No, it gets spoiled. It gets spoiled. But I mean, I do like once in a while. I do think it's good to appreciate your partner.
You should meet Nairobi women. Hey, these ones of your money is ours, but mine is mine.
I don't get that. I think maybe that's a problem.
Yeah, we are used to it.
Nairobi.
Nairobi. So, Daktari, I think we should wind up this episode.
Yeah. So I don't know what you guys think, but we would like to hear from you. Like, how did you find this episode? You could leave your comments. You could like. Others would say subscribe. Yes, but you could subscribe.
What do you mean others?
You could subscribe.
And why are you saying could?
You should subscribe.
You must.
Oh my.
Yeah, I said it. Bigger subscription. Hey,
Subscription
I saw
on
that.
deck.
Yeah, please, guys, just subscribe, share. I mean, I think the more people we reach, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and these conversations need to be had. Yeah, not just here, but online in the comment section, everywhere. We need to discuss all these things. If you think we've said something bad, let us know so that we don't say it again.
Well, there's that part, but we're also going to be very honest with you. We don't want to hide the reality of everything around this career. And I also think if there are topics you'd like to hear from us, you should just drop them down below.
And especially if you wanna come to the show.
Oh, yeah. That would be great. That would be great.
I need to host some nurses and some CEOs.
We could start with the nurses.
Dan, CEO, he refused to come. Okay, he didn't refuse to come. We were planning on it. He's just not in town.
At this point, you are shouting at everyone.
He just but he should come so that we move as a community.
Right. I would also think like maternity nurses would be a great. Yeah, I think they'd make great hosts.
That's amazing. I should get a maternity nurse from a public hospital and one from a private hospital.
Perfect.
Do you know the difference?
Yes.
What's the difference?
I don't want to say it.
Say it.
Okay. So nurses from a private hospital work 180 hours first and foremost a month, while the ones from government hospital, they work per shift, so life is a bit chill. Secondly, the nurses in government hospitals are not so polite.
Yeah. Why? I don't know why you.
They are rude.
I don't know you even started with hours.
They are rude. They are rude. The ones in private hospitals have to suck it in and really prioritize patient wellness as well, like how the patient is, how they're. And then lastly, I think employees, like nurses that are employees of private hospitals, are always constantly searching for jobs over government hospitals.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, like I feel like nurses in government hospitals are very comfortable. Nurses in private hospitals are too stressed. They're looking for something else outside what they're working.
Let me tell you something. Smiling when you're not happy is very hard.
Yeah.
Punchline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're told that you have to appear happy, the air hostess, hello, welcome. This is and you're stressed. You're from a busy night shift, and somebody is telling you how the I don't know, they don't want a certain drug, and you know you will have to explain why you didn't give that drug, yet it's written on the t-shirt, yet you have to beg a patient ndio akubali umdunge dawa. And you're like, yeah, no, it's not nice, you know, the doctor. That's smart. Oh my, it's exhausting.
Wow. I felt that in the chest.
Yeah.
No, but okay, I get it.
You do.
I do, but I also think the micromanagement in a private hospital just increases the stress levels.
It does.
But the quality of care is that quality for a reason.
Some would say it's because of the micromanagement.
I think so.
You do?
Yeah, I just think that maybe the government doesn't put too much effort in standardizing
I
care.
need to host one of these managers. I hosted a manager of a public hospital, Dr. Nyadimu. I need to host a manager of a private hospital.
I think that would be great.
You know, so we just listen to what they have to say.
I'd like to know why the system is failing us from their standpoint. Yeah. What they could do better.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions for our potential guest, also comment down below.
Ziweke pale chini.
Yeah.
Kwenye komenti.
Hi. So it's been great.
It's been great.
To our first episode.
Yeah, to many more. We're going to be doing this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kila wiki tunawapiga na episode.
But that episode about dating, you'll find me here. Same time, same place.
You like it? You really want to do it?
I really want to. I think there's a lot we've not touched on.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Daktari, a quick one. Adios.